Dignitaries from the provincial government and local municipalities were on hand at the Pioneer House Tuesday as the facility had its official ribbon cutting for the opening of its newest wing. Kira Lyons has more.
And we're open.
The facility can now offer housing for residents who require specialized supervisory care while remaining in their hometown, following the provincial government's philosophy of aging in place.
As they age and as their needs grow, they are familiar with places and they don't really want to move away from them. It's very difficult for a lot of seniors to move away from those places.
The new wing not only keeps locals in their hometown, but also allows couples like Fern and Lloyd Hankey to remain close to each other while receiving different levels of care.
It's very convenient for me because he was in Points West before and I had to drive over there all the time. This way, I'll just walk over.
I've lived here for a long time. I'd be quite disappointed if they kicked me out now.
Now we have a level 4 care, which meets the greater needs of these people, and now they don't have to move to a different town or village. They can just move across the hall to this facility.
To long-time Lloydminster residents such as Lloyd, the familiarity of the community and company is the best part of his new home.
People are so friendly here, honest. Like, I didn't know I knew that many people, but gee, today, I never saw so many.
The new wing's 44 rooms have already been filled, which has greatly decreased the assisted living waiting list. Kira Lyons, Newcap News.
Well, test driving and shopping around for a new car can sometimes be a stressful experience. Westridge Buick GMC, however, is giving you a good reason to go for a test drive tomorrow. The dealership will donate $20 for every car driven to Queen Elizabeth School. They're hoping to get 500 drivers out there to raise a total of $10,000.
We've worked hand in hand with the Lloyd Public School Division to make sure that it's the right schools every year that get the opportunity to host the event, and they basically tell us which schools are needing of some stuff.
The funds raised after the test drive event will be donated to promoting active, healthy living at the school, something that will benefit the entire community.
So we're looking at purchasing some more cross-country skis, possibly some picnic tables for the playground, and things that really can invite our community in to enjoy the area.
If you'd like to help out, or if you just want a good excuse to try out a new car, you can sign up for a test drive on Queen Elizabeth's website or at their Facebook page. Well, ask most students, and it's safe to say recess might be one of their favorite times of day, but once that bell rings, it's back to business. In this week's Beyond the Classroom, Nicole Stilger shows us the strategies staff at St. Thomas have come up with to safely and efficiently get kids back into the building.
We have over 500 students to move through, and we want to get them into class as soon as we can.
It's a routine 2 years in the making. Once the students hear the bell, they go to their designated door, line up. The first person in line then holds the door, getting a quick merci for their efforts.
Thank you, young man. After you.
The chaos of recess suddenly streamlined into order. Principal Lisa Marie Kreese says they've put a lot of attention into teaching these procedures and why behavior matters.
Teaching of the significance of coming in and being welcome and having somebody smile at you and say thank you. They apply that at the mall. They apply that, at the grocery store. Now that they're understanding a little bit why we want them to take their turns to enter and hold the doors, we're seeing more kindness from kids.
And waiting at the doors are the teachers, a strategy that's evolved from before where the kids would just meet them at the classroom.
And we found moving the teachers down to the boot room door, right away the recess issues can be addressed. There's less chance of movement issues across the building. So that evolution has been really fantastic.
So once the kids have come safely back inside from recess, it takes them about 5 minutes to completely get organized and head to class. And that's something made possible by the use of this space.
We're quite unique in the design of our boot room, and in terms of a supervision and safety issue, this design, almost like an airport concourse, where they all have their doors and we structure the entry, allows us to see safely out on the playground quickly, and it allows us to clear the playgrounds.
Kreese says this strategy also helping decrease anxiety.
We shouldn't have kids fearful of a boot room. We should have them coming in, knowing where their stuff goes, feeling like they belong, they have a space, and then being able to get to the classroom calm and in a state to ready to learn.
Kreese adds she's happy with how this strategy has evolved, and it's the commitment from the teachers that's been critical to its success. Nicole Stilger, Newcap News.
Well, during an emergency, it can be difficult enough to get yourself and family members out, let alone your pets. Now the SPCA is reminding everyone it's necessary to plan for the animal element. Brian Lentz has more.
We need to plan for this, because if we don't, people will place themselves in perilous situations to manage their pets.
That's the lesson the Alberta SPCA learned during the Fort McMurray wildfire. Initially expecting close to 700 animals, they coordinated the rescue of almost 1,200 in the first 2 weeks of the disaster.
So our objective was to assess and manage animals that were owned, that people had identified as being requiring evacuation.
Johnston adds they expected to rescue mostly dogs, but the opposite turned out to be true, as the vast majority were cats, rabbits, and reptiles. John Punchon with the local SPCA says this is likely due to dogs' personalities.
They're right in tow, they're easy to load, they'll follow you. My cats, on the other hand, they're going to hide, they're going to be scared, they're going to go to places that may not be able to reach in such a quick notice.
Punchon says the Lloydminster SPCA is being approached by neighboring communities who are now more aware of the challenges of pet rescue during evacuations. He adds the city already works closely with the shelter.
The fact that we're at the table working with them shows that the community is considering and is concerned about animal welfare and the safety of the animals.
And just like in Fort McMurray, Lloydminster peace officers and RCMP are the ones on the front line rescuing animals.
Whether it's an emergency, an evacuation of a property, or potentially if it's even something of a domestic nature, they would be the first ones. And then we are sort of the secondary, because the peace officers are the ones that will bring the animal to the shelter.
But it's not just up to first responders. Pet owners need to do their part before a crisis occurs.
Make sure that you have registered your pet, whether it's through the PID services or premise ID system for livestock, or through your licensing system with your local municipality. Those animals can't be rescued without the knowledge that they're there.
Brian Lentz, Newcap News.
This is Newcap Sports.
Lloydminster football celebrated the life of its former president, Rod Kirby, over this past weekend in the best way they know how, playing football. Kira Lyons has more.
In communities like Lloydminster, minor sports are much more than entertainment. They are a way of life. Rod Kirby was the driving force behind the city's minor football, and although he has passed, his influence is still very much felt on the field.
Yeah, Rod was really good at taking kids and keeping them interested in football, no matter what background they came from. And we just want to make sure we keep that going.
He was a great coach, great leader. He was like having another dad when I played football. Just a great man. He taught us everything about football, about life, what it meant to be a football player, and what taught us how to be good young men in the community.
The minor teams took the day to honor his memory by playing the game he loved so much. Both the Pee Wee and Bantam teams squared off for a full afternoon of football in his honor.
It broke our hearts. It did make us stronger because of his passion for the sport. So we wanted to carry on how he would do the best he could. So we just try our best every day and be like, what would Rod do?
I haven't been in Lloydminster very long, but it became very clear very quickly the importance the name Rod Kirby holds in this city. To a lot of the kids, parents, and coaches, football is a lot more than just a game, and Rod Kirby a lot more than just a coach. Kira Lyons, Newcap Sports.